What's up, Amazon sellers? Are you having a hard time finding products to resell on Amazon USA? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 best categories to sell on for Amazon USA as new sellers doing online arbitrage. Stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been doing Amazon arbitrage now for 4 years. Now, quite simply, I've been selling in the UK for those 4 years and I've broken the £1 million mark. And recently we started in the USA and gone through the whole new seller, getting started and all the categories. Now, we post videos about selling specifically online doing the online arbitrage model every single week. So if you are interested in learning more about online arbitrage and this kind of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button just down below. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to go through today? Number 1, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory into like how this all came around. Number 2, I'll talk to you about why it is important to understand what about these categories. Number 3, I'll also talk about where we are going to get this information from. So like not just making it up, but actually where did we get this data from? And then number 4, get it right, Tom, I'm going to share with you the 5 top categories to sell on Amazon USA as a new seller. So let's jump into it now. Let's give you a little bit of a backstory. Now, look, as you know, I've been selling on Amazon now for 4 years. Now, in the UK, and within the past 12 months, we've also gone through so many problems, you know, like VAs, losses on our products, restock limits, and many, many more. But you know what? That didn't stop me from achieving my goal, which was to reach the £1 million sales mark over a 12-month period. Now, we persisted, we drove forward, my team and I, and we hit that £1 million goal, and I'm super, super happy about it. Now, following this achievement, what did it do? It motivated us to start thinking about doing that journey again in Amazon USA. So applying what we'd learned in the UK, but then obviously doing that again and obviously exceeding it in the USA and creating the content about this for this channel. Now, this video today is very much around the starting on Amazon USA. Yes, I've got the knowledge from the UK, but we had to start again in the USA. So that's kind of a little bit of backstory of like how this all came around. And recently, 5-6 months ago, we started in the USA doing online arbitrage in the USA and hence gone through all this as a new beginner. Now, that leads me nicely on to number 2. Why is it important, these 5 categories? Well, look, like as I said before, I'm also a new seller in that marketplace, and there is no doubt that, you know, when I first started, we were gated in so many categories. Now, if you want to know what gated means, basically it means you are not allowed, it's a big no, stop, to sell a specific product, a brand, or a category at the moment because that category or that brand has a gate around it. That's what we call it, stopping you from selling it. Now, you might be asking why. Well, quite simply, Amazon wants us to maintain a quality of service to its customers, or should I say Amazon wants to maintain the quality of service to its customers. And this includes avoiding bad sellers selling like counterfeit products, maybe like dodgy imports from abroad, all these kind of things. And what they do, those brands or those categories at risk, they put a gate around them. For me and my team, you know, sourcing in the USA, it's super hard to locate products where, you know, we're not gated, we just can't sell. It took us almost 3 months before getting access to enough sales velocity that we could actually start getting ungated in categories through the automatic ungating method. And right now, because we're getting ungated, because we've got the volume of sales, because we've chosen these categories, which I'll explain in a minute, we're now getting sales velocity whereby when we click apply to sale, it no longer asks for an invoice, it just says accepted, which is fantastic. And hopefully that's where you'll get to as well. Now, the one thing which I will share, and I talked about it just a minute ago, is about automatic ungating and how to get ungated as well, even using like invoices. What I'll do is I'll share a link to a video up here that I created called Top Tips on How to Get Ungated on Amazon. And that's just going to talk about the actual process you need to go through. We do talk about the automatic ungating process, which works with volume, but also as well, if you're going to go down the wholesale distributor model, you can do that as well. And I'll show you step by step and a screen share how to do that. So check out that video. Quick question for you guys. Are you struggling to get ungated in certain categories? I just want to know how many of the viewers right now are struggling with gated products. Let me know with a yes or no down below in the comments. Just drop a yes or a no in the comments down below if there's a category you want to get ungated in or brand. Now, this leads me nicely on to chapter number 3. Where are we getting this information from for these top 5 categories? Well, look, I said it earlier and I'll say it again. I have encountered gating in my business in so many categories and so much a part of the selling on Amazon journey. Now, what we've done in this process and based on that experience is we found deals whereby we can sell. And what we've done is we start to categorize, like, what are the categories, out of all the categories you can sell in, which are the categories that we found the most number of deals in, obviously, which are ungated. Now, what we've done is, as part of our process, we use something called the FastTrackFBA Ultimate Sourcing Sheet. That is a sheet that I created, which quite simply, it just manages all your purchases, all your inventory, or should I say, managing your reorders for online arbitrage, also about how you're performing against your kind of like forecasted sales and stock. It's a management sheet for your Amazon business, and one part of that is we use that sheet to just really identify the top categories that we could, source products from that we weren't gated in. So that's where we're getting the data from. The information that I'm going to share next about the top 5 categories is not something that we've made up. It's actually coming from that USS, and it's coming from the data we've collected over the many months that we've been selling on Amazon now in the USA, which are the categories that have really worked for us. So just kind of sharing with you now. So that leads me quite nicely on to talk about chapter number 4, the 5 top categories for new sellers to sell on Amazon USA. So something super important here. So number 1, so the first category we have is what's known as health and household. Basically, these are like personal care products, should we say supplements, household supplies, and you've got a wide variety of products in this category. Now, interesting, some of the brands in them are gated, but what we did find is that a lot of the deals we found in there were ungated, which was fantastic. Now, as a new seller looking for product category, this category, maybe you're doing like the reverse sourcing method, works really well. Now, the one thing I will say, the health and household category does come with some disadvantages. One of them, that some products in this category do have what's known as IP complaints, meaning you're not authorized to sell their brands, and you can obviously get one of those IP complaint issues coming here, so do be very careful. Now, the top tip I'd recommend for you is if you are worried about IP complaints, make sure you are checking the brands that you're sourcing versus the FastTrackFBA brand checker. I'll drop a link down below. It's just a list of all the brands that we've ever heard about, seen in Facebook groups, anything whereby we know there are IP complaints. We categorize and put it in there to protect you and me in our businesses. Now, you might be asking, the one question is, what happens if you do sell a product that you get an IP complaint? Well, simply, if you receive an IP complaint on your listing, then generally speaking, your listing is going to be removed from that listing. Now, what I'll do is I'll share an overlay around here so you can see like an example of an IP complaint. But also what I'll do is, if you do get one, check out a link to a video up here for a video I created called What is an IP Complaint? The top tips how to respond to IP complaints. So that's going to help you out if you do get them. But now what I will say is, if you are sourcing in the health and household category, double check the brand, on that brand checker, and also as well, just make sure they're not on the buy box. That's going to be a really important thing. So like, it's not the same brand as a seller on the listing. That's one of the really big things. Now, this leads me quite nicely onto the second category, and that is arts, crafts, and sewing. Now, this category, we've seen there are many suppliers offering cheap prices on these products. Now, to mention one supplier, and I will just let you into a little hint, you can find this yourself and can help out. Blick Art is one of our go-to stores in the US when sourcing for art supplies. And what I will say is that they have many great quality products that you can buy and resell on Amazon as a new seller. So if you like that, give me a big thumbs up, and hey, just drop a thanks Tom for the supplier for that category. Now, the one thing I'll say, the downside of this category is that the prices do change quite quickly. So if you're planning to source under this category, don't just focus on it, do kind of spread around, because what we see is that in the art supplies world, prices, the manufacturers do kind of change the prices quite rapidly, and as a result, that affects the Amazon marketplace. Now, the third category we usually source from, we found, was office products. Now, in this category, I'll say that some of the products we source from the office category are quite light, and that has an advantage because there's lesser fees. But on the other side, we do have heavier products, which obviously have higher FBA fees. Just be mindful of that. Now, one of the other big products around, one of the big issues around the office supplies is that generally Amazon's pretty dominant in this. So you can struggle, but there are a lot of products that if you can find the right price, you're not gated in, you can get in there and you can buy. So be strategic when buying, look at Amazon on the listing, use coupon codes that are going to reduce your price. That's really going to help you out. Now, the one thing which I will say is that my team have observed that office products, a lot of them are fast moving, but there's a lot of them which are really not. So just be very mindful, checking that sales rank, the seller count, and just make sure that the products you're buying are actually selling. There's so many office products out there. Just be careful. We want to make sure they are actually selling. Now, what I will say is, I said it earlier and I'll say it again, when you're sourcing categories, make sure the supplier is offering a discount or you're getting it for a great price, because in this category, what we found is that our profit margin just wasn't as high. And also as well, sometimes Amazon have a habit of jumping in. They're pretty dominant in that office supplies category. Now, the fourth category is one of the best categories, and that is the tools and home improvements category. And I love this, my God, I've always loved this. Maybe it's because I'm just a guy and loves doing DIY, I don't know. But what I can say about this category is we have been getting some really good sales, but also as well, good profits and ROI, #excited. So if you want to make some good money, I've really checked this out. There are some very good opportunities out there. But along with the advantages in, tools and home improvements, there are also some disadvantages. Now, one of the issues we have faced in this category is that they are expensive. Some of the products you're going to buy, they're just going to be like per unit cost is going to be a lot more than, in the arts and crafts. So you've got to be mindful of that. You've got to be doing your due diligence, making sure the product is actually selling, profitable, and it's got a good sales history, because you want to make sure you're making profit on it, because you're investing so much more money per item. So just be very, very careful about that. But get it right, you're going to get big profits and big ROIs. Now, the fifth and the final category which I'll share for you is the beauty and personal care. Now, I'm going to put it out there. There are lots of good deals, lots of good sales, but there are a lot of brands in this which are going to be gated. So if you can get the right brands or figure them out in that category, it's really going to work. So generally speaking, health and personal care do have some very good selling items. Just be very mindful of that. Now, the one thing, I think for you is always be checking that sales rank, looking for the velocity. That's going to help you out. Now, my team has got good experience in sourcing under the beauty and personal care because they figured it out. They found out what brands that they can do, and once you can kind of go into that, they're just going to go, this brand, we know it sells, we can get into it. So it works for us. But there are some cons, for doing it. Is generally, out of all the suppliers, of all the different categories, this one is the one category where they cancel the most amount of orders. Really annoying, and we've seen that time and time again. So if you are getting the problem about cancelled orders, I will drop a link to a video up here called 3 reasons why your supplier is cancelling your orders. Check that out. It's got some top tips which we've implemented in our business, which has helped. It's not perfect, but it has helped. Check that out. But aside from cancelled orders, my team have found real success in beauty and personal care, and that's helped. But also as well, a lot of these products generally do come out of stock, so do keep rechecking them. I think that's going to help you out as well. But I would highly recommend sourcing in that category, because when you find a good deal, they sell, and if you can get the right volume, my God, you can make great profits, not only because of volume, but also because they're quite light and they're good value for money. So do check it out, but also look at the coupon codes, cashback. That's really going to help you out as well. Okay, so quick thing for you guys, if you are just getting started, obviously these 5 categories are going to really help you. But the one thing which I will say, and my God, I learned this as well, is that sourcing takes time. It's even harder when you're gated on everything, hence why you're probably watching this video now. Now, the one thing I just recommend is if you are struggling for deals, maybe even time, and I really understand, check out FastTrackFBA Leads. This is the lead service I created whereby we've got teams, VA sourcing 7 days a week in the UK and USA. One big caveat for you, or one big thing to be aware of, we have a certain filter whereby we filter for deals which we believe are going to be ungated for new sellers. So if you are looking just to, literally have a short list of deals where you should be able to sell as a new seller that you're not gated in, FastTrackFBA Leads will have that. And also as well, if you are gated, for some reason, you can get a refund within seconds. So do not worry about that. Have a look down below, FastTrackFBA Leads. Trust me, it's a game changer. You can pick and choose your own deals. We source 7 days a week, and USA and UK teams. Trust me, I think you're gonna love it. Right, that leads me on to my final chapter, top tips. Now look, do not stick to one category. My God, the Amazon marketplace is like huge. I think I was checking Keeper the other day, and it's something like 775 million products they're tracking right now on Amazon USA. That's a lot of products. So check different categories, look for different things. There's so much opportunity out there. Mix it up. Now, if you are getting problems with cancelled orders, then what I will say is obviously check that video out I shared earlier, but also as well, just give it a couple of days, mix it up, change, maybe use a VPN, change your IP, different order values, don't order so much. Just try and see if you can start getting those orders going through. Keep trying with those suppliers. Don't give up the first time. Trust me, they could be the golden supplier once you figure out how to make them work. Now, the next top tip I'll share with you is don't just accept any price on face value. Make sure you're using things like cashback and also coupon codes. There's so many times, I remember this when I first started. I found a deal and I was so excited to buy it. I went off and I bought it. And then the moment I finished buying, I was like, well, hey, I've got a great deal. I then looked at the cashback and then I looked at the coupon codes and realized I could have got it even cheaper. So don't get caught up in the hype. Go through that process step by step. Pin those coupon code extensions, pin those cashback sites, work through the solution, work through your purchasing process step by step. It's just going to save you money. It's going to make you more money. Now, the final top tip I'll share with you is if you are worried about IP claims, and I think you should be, there's a worry about them. We need to be careful. It's about protecting our account and our Amazon selling account because we only get one. If you lose it, you can't make another one. Do check out the FastTrackFBA brand checker. Again, I'll drop a link down below. It's just going to help you understand those brands you probably want to stay away from, protect that account, and there's so many opportunities out there outside those brands. Trust me, I know I'm doing it right now. It might seem frustrating, but do protect your account. Check out the FastTrackFBA brand checker. Now, what I will say is today I've just shared with you the 5 top categories that are going to really help you out. But hey, it's not just about categories, it's also about finding suppliers. Now, if you want to know the seven top suppliers that I found, again, when I first started as a new seller, which we found statistically the most number of deals in as new sellers, then what I'll do is I'll drop a link around here to a video called 7 top suppliers as a new seller in Amazon USA. Check that out. I think that's going to be game changing for your business. But hey, what I will say is hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.